What's up? Dan here from Code News. And if you're a new developer learning how to code, one of the best things you can do is create new projects or unique projects. So today I wanted to talk about how to plan your next web dev project. When you jump into coding without a plan, it's a recipe for headaches and setbacks. And I can tell you, like, I did this so many times when I was starting out where I'd just start coding and I'd basically get to a point where I'd have to, end up making so many changes that I'd just start the project over again. And it really was just a waste of time. So today I'm going to share a short guide for how to plan your next web development project effectively. And having a clear plan will make the coding process so much easier and way more efficient. So the first thing you need to do is you need to define project goals. So some questions to answer are like, what problem are you solving? Or what value are you offering, right? So this could be, anything from like, I'm going to create, I want to create something that can enable people to upload images and share them easily, something like that, right? Or, I'm going to offer an easier way to take notes, right? Something like that. And then the other questions are, who is the target audience and what's the main purpose of this project? And a target audience is important because if you know your target audience, that can really help you also, better design for with them in mind. So quick tips here. A clear purpose will drive all design and development decisions, ensuring each feature aligns with your goal. Understanding your audience is essential for designing and creating a project that will work for them and be successful. And you really can't stress this enough. Like if you have a clear purpose in mind, it does make everything else easier and it really will drive all those decisions that you need to make regarding design development. The next step is to outline key features. So that first begin by creating a list of features you think are important for the success of your project. So some examples, right? You might, do you need user accounts, dashboards, maybe admin portals? Are you going to use interactive components like search, filtering, or media uploads? Just start by creating a huge list of everything you think you'll need. Then as a pro tip, and this is really important, prioritize. Take all those features that you came up with and split them into must-have and nice-to-have. Must-have would be essential for the basic functioning of this and to create a full product or a web app. And nice-to-haves are things that you would like to have or include, but could be done later. This will help you define an MVP or minimally viable product and can make your initial development faster. And remember, you can always add on to or update projects later. So you want to get it out there in the world to show people what you can do, and then you can keep working on it and refining it as you go, adding features. Number three, and this is important, map out the user journey. This is some kind called creating user stories. You can check that idea out as well. But basically, the goal here is to think through how users will interact with your app. So list out all the steps a user might take, for instance, from the landing page to account creation to completing a main task. Having a user-centric approach helps avoid confusing flows and improves usability from the get-go. And again, this is also important because I think where a lot of us struggle when we first start out is we have an idea of what we want to do, but we don't think about all these little things of like, what's the process of getting from point A to point B? What does it feel like for a user using my app? How's the user experience? And if you start thinking about these things early on, it'll help you develop better features and a better product overall. So once you've got, those first three things down, you're going to create a basic wireframe or mockup. The main purpose of this is to visualize the layout and placement of features before you do any coding. So there's lots of tools that exist out there. You can use things like Figma or Canva. They're great. They make it very easy to, pick colors, to come up with like, color palettes for it ahead of time, right? To lay out design, so forth and so on. But you can also just use simple paper sketches. Really, the idea here is just to have some visualization because it will really make it a lot easier. Your wireframe mockup does not have to be fancy. I can't stress this enough, but having this will help, before if you have this before you code, it will help save hours by clarifying design and layout. And I think this is also important because, one of the things we do early on by forgetting this is we end up going back and like just wasting a ton of time editing things to make them look better, or to make them normalized across the site when we could have had that from the get-go by simply having a wireframe. So you have your mockup. Next thing you're going to do is choose your tech stack. Main things to consider here are what's the complexity of the project, your skill level, and the project goals. For suggested stacks, I would say for beginners, stick with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Learn those core web technologies first. If you're more advanced, React or Next.js are great for complex projects. When you're choosing a tech stack, avoid decision fatigue by sticking to what you know or by learning tech that aligns with your future goals. There is so much stuff out there in the tech world, and it can be super overwhelming. So often, I think it's better to just stick with either what you already know so you can develop and get better in that area, or again, focusing on what you think you're going to need for future goals. So conclusion, right? The single best thing you can do as a new developer is build projects. So set small goals and make a plan to stay on track and keep coding. Hopefully this guide will help you to plan out your next project so you don't waste time and you don't get frustrated when you're building something on your own. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more web development tips. Thanks, guys.